A horrifying scene unfolded as Emma rode the train. She discovered that the rear carriage had vanished into thin air. Emma quickly summoned the train attendant to investigate. Upon seeing what had happened behind them, the attendant's face was filled with disbelief. Yet he had to maintain his composure and deceive the passengers, insisting there had never been a carriage there in the first place. At this point, other passengers overheard their conversation and turned their attention to the back of the train. Gradually, everyone started noticing the abnormality. One passenger approached the attendant, questioning why he was lying, as he had two friends sitting in that very last carriage, number 5. Realizing his initial excuse wouldn't convince the crowd, the attendant had a flash of inspiration. He told everyone that due to a sudden malfunction, carriage 5 had been left behind in the tunnel. He reassured the passengers not to panic, stating he would immediately report the incident. Once the maintenance crew fixed the issue, carriage 5 would rejoin them. The attendant then went to inspect the tracks. To his surprise, he discovered green plants growing inside the electrical box, along with a thick, unknown liquid oozing out, as if it hadn't been cleaned for years. Just as the attendant was puzzling over this, he suddenly spotted a terrifying human silhouette in the glass. These shadowy figures seemed to be the very people who had vanished from carriage 5. Trembling with fear at the sight before him, the attendant hastily informed the train conductor. The conductor was utterly shocked upon learning about the disappearance of the carriage. After all, each carriage could only be detached after he entered a password. No external force could possibly separate them. Reviewing the surveillance footage from carriage 5, the conductor found that the signal had been lost during the train's last passage through a tunnel. He then instructed the attendant to keep the truth from the passengers at all costs to avoid causing a panic. At this moment, the train entered the second tunnel, and eerie events began to unfold quietly. First, passengers in the carriage heard a strange cry. Then, a long-haired man suddenly felt something tightly constricting his neck. He struggled desperately to break free, but the grip only tightened. Other passengers rushed to help, but then another passenger found himself in the same predicament. A female passenger's face contorted grotesquely as she incessantly muttered vicious curses. Although the bizarre sounds could confuse the mind, some still managed to maintain a shred of sanity. Sensing something terrifying in the carriage, Teddy grabbed his camera, hoping to capture the monster. The instant he pointed the camera towards the ceiling, a demon appeared before his eyes. Before Teddy could react, the demon slowly approached him. With a mere glance, Teddy was reduced to a desiccated corpse. Immediately after, the fourth carriage detached, and all its passengers perished in an instant. At that very moment, a girl in carriage 3, Lin Min, witnessed this uncanny scene. She screamed in terror, her eyes wide with fear. Emma and the train attendant turned to look, their eyes also widening in shock at the sight.